Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Ah, it's you, Cameron.
Ah, Meliodas, there you are. Good to see that you and the others have clocked into your shift.
Yep, we're all here in our little office.
Very good. Welcome to your new summer job at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I'll be here to talk you guys through some of the things you can expect to see during your first week here and to help get you started down this new and exciting career path. Now, since you lot are new here, I won't bother mentioning about the things that have been said about the old location.
The old location?
Yeah, some people still have a somewhat negative impression of the company.
Really?
Yeah, that old restaurant was kind of left to rot for quite a while. But I want to reassure you that Fazbear Entertainment is committed to family fun and above all, safety.
Well, that's good to know.
Indeed, Your Highness. They spent a small fortune on these new animatronics like facial recognition, advanced mobility. Heck, they even let them walk around during the day. Isn't that neat?
It most certainly is.
So, yeah. But most importantly, they're all tied into some kind of criminal database, so they can detect a predator a mile away. We should be paying them to guard you, guys. Now, with that being said, no new system is without its kinks.
Kinks? What do you mean by that?
Well, you guys are technically only the second guard to work at that location.
The second guard?
Yeah, the first guy finished his week, but complained about, conditions.
Conditions, huh?
Yeah, we switched him over to day shift. So, lucky for you guys, eh?
I, suppose so?
What exactly were the conditions he fussed about?
Well, mainly, he expressed concerns that certain characters seemed to move around at night and even attempted to get into his office. Now, from what we know, that should be impossible. That restaurant should be the safest place on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so while our engineers don't really have an explanation for this, the working theory is that, the robots were never given a proper night mode. So when it gets quiet, they think they're in the wrong room. So they go try to find where the people are, and in this case, that is your guy's office.
Oh dear!
Well, not to worry. We do have a temporary solution to this issue.
Oh, really? And what would that be, might we ask?
Well, Miss Deanne, there is a music box over by the prize counter, and it's rigged to be wound up remotely.
Where would that be?
I'll have a look. Found it! It's on camera 11.
Yeah, so just every once in a while, switch over to the prize counter video feed and wind it up for a few seconds. It doesn't seem to affect all of the animatronics, but it does affect one of them.
One of them?
That's what he said, Porky. You must have not been listening very clearly.
Why, you son of a...
Shh! My apologies for interrupting you, little buddy. Please continue.
Okay then. Now, as for the rest of them, we have an even easier solution.
And what's that, a robot head or something?
Well, yes, actually.
Wow, I was only being sarcastic about that.
Yeah, you see there may be a minor glitch in the system. Something about robots seeing you as an endoskeleton without its costume on, and wanting to stuff you into a suit, all that nonsense.
Goodness.
I don't like the sound of that.
So that's why we given each of you guys an empty Freddy Fazbear head. Problem solved. They're over there by the corner if the need should arise. And you can put it on any time and leave it on for as long as you guys want. So eventually anything that wandered in will wander back out.
I think this'll definitely help us out a lot this week.
Oh, hey, there was something else worth mentioning.
What is it?
It's kind of a quirky modern design of the building. You may have noticed that there are no doors for you to close. But, hey, you have a light. And even though your flashlight ran out of power, the building cannot. So, don't worry about the place going dark.
Well, at least it's better than nothing.
Well, I think that's it. You should be golden. So, check the lights, put on the Freddy head if y'all need to. Keep the music box wound up. Piece of cake. Now, you guys have a good night, and I'll chat with you tomorrow.
All right, then. Good night, kid.
Bye, Sir Scants. Good night, Cameron. Bye, Cameron.
Good night,
Goodbye,
little buddy.
Cameron.
Good night,
Have a pleasant
Cameron.
night, Cameron.
Bye.